Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk on Killing a Tree by Geef Patel, which you have got to study in your Zeitgeist book Zeitgeist. It's on Killing a Tree, a poem written by Geef Patel. Now, talking about Geef Patel, he was born in 1940. And of course, we can see him as a very important presence in the history of modern Indian poetry in English. He is a poet, a playwright, a painter, and a doctor by profession. He has, of course, written 3 books of poetry, which is titled: one, Poems; second one, How Do You Withstand; third one, Body and Mirroring. And he has also penned 3 plays, which is titled Princess, Savaksa, and Mr. Bahram. And of course, more than that, he has of course held so many exhibitions of his paintings in India and abroad. Right now he lives in Mumbai, and Patel belongs to the avant-garde grouping of artists who are based on Bombay and Baroda. Talking about his poetry as such, his poetry is very much, as your text says, it is very much besieged by the terrain of body. It is like, yeah, it is besieged. It talks about the besieged terrain of the human body, its frailty, absurdity, and perishability, the vulgar social inequalities of caste and class that continue to assail post-independence India. So we can see that he is a writer who talks about the problems of the subaltern community, the problems of those marginalized sections of the society in India, especially who are relegated to the margin because of the caste and class issues, the violence, the daily sort of violence which is happening, the conflict, the pain, the trauma, which we can see in the Indian society is getting reflected. The looming presence of violence, the looming presence of death, decay, everything is getting presented through his particular particular works or poems that he writes. Now, he is also considered to be a poet of the body, because human body is something which comes often in his writing. In majority of the poem, body acts as a sort of a living metaphor. In this particular, he is also a spokesperson of Greenpeace movement. Who actually talks about, he of course talks about environmental issues as such. When we are talking about On Killing a Tree, this is also a poem which talks about the killing of nature that we often indulge in. Human beings destroy nature in a very cruel manner. That this particular poem focuses on the resilient nature of trees and nature and plants and everything that you see in nature. But human beings are so adamant, human beings are so cruel, human beings are so violent enough that they are ready, they struggle a lot to destroy nature. That is what he says in this particular poem. So here also you have this body image, you have the tree, how the body of the tree is getting destroyed one by one. How would you destroy something? How would you destroy something? Of course, this poem can be taken in 2 ways, or many ways of course, but mainly 2 ways. One is, you can of course take the tree as a metaphor for any trouble that you have in your life, problems that you face in your life, and this is actually a step-by-step tutorial on how you actually face a problem, how you solve a problem, how you find a solution to the problem that you have, how you need to go in depth, how you need to focus on the problem, go to the root of the problem, uproot it, put it in the sunshine, let it dry, kind of things. So that is the one kind of reading that you can of course give to this particular poem. Another sort of reading that you can of course give to this particular poem is the environmental concerns, which we would be talking about in this particular in this video. And he of course in that sense, he takes this poem we can of course take the language which is used by Geef Patel, the irony, the sarcasm that he uses where he is providing step by step tutorial. As I told you, it is a step by step what to do, a DIY of do it yourself, of kind of destroying the tree, and how through this destruction of the tree he is focusing on the violent nature, the cruel nature of human beings as such, who are very adamant on destroying nature. I'll just read the poem out and we'll try to make out some sort of a meaning in the poem. So the text goes like this. As I told you, this is an ironic representation. This is a step-by-step understanding of a kind of a very graphic representation of how you totally annihilate a tree. And human beings are so very cruel that though nature is so very resilient in nature, we do not give a second chance to nature. We destroy, we do not allow nature a second life. We do not allow, once you destroy a tree, you destroy it completely in every sense, uproot it, every roots are let out, so that the tree does not have any more life again. So this is so through this probably Gieve Patel is showering all the anger that he has towards human nature, towards the felling of trees, the deforestation, everything, all sorts of environmental destruction, which results in lots and lots of problems in the environment that we are facing right now. So I'll just read out the poem and we'll try to make out a meaning from it. It takes much time to kill a tree. Now, how do you kill a tree? Not a simple jab of knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. So, hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which if unchecked will expand again to the former size. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree should be exposed. The source, white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it's done. Now this is how you destroy a tree. He says it takes much time to kill a tree. Killing a single tree is not an easy task at all. You need to struggle a lot. You need to put at most hard work onto killing a tree. But human beings are so adamant. Human beings are so very ready to kill nature as such that they kill it completely. They kill it completely. So now, how do you kill a tree? How are you going to kill a tree? How do human beings kill trees? How do human beings kill nature as such? How do they murder nature? Now, it takes so much time to kill a tree. It's not an easy task to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of knife and you just cut a tree that will do it. No. It has grown. Why are we not able to kill a tree by a single jab of a knife? Because a tree is not born in a day. It was not born in a day. It has, of course, slowly, gradually consumed the earth, rose out of it, feeding upon the crust of the earth, absorbing years of sunlight. It has taken years of sunlight. It has taken years of watering. It has taken years of air. And it is then only that out of its leprous hide, leaves begin to sprout. So in order for a tree to get the position of a tree, or in order for nature to exist, nature did not come out all of a sudden on the earth on a single day. No, it has taken millions and zillions of years for nature to come to this existence. And what are we doing? We just jab it out, we just cut it out. No, we are not just cutting it out, because if you cut it out, nature is so resilient that it just again there is a tendency that it sprouts. It brings back new leaves. Nature won't admit a failure all of a sudden. It just again and again nature tries to come out. Nature tries to rise up and up. Why is nature not able to rise up? Because we human beings, by our cruel nature, by our violent nature, have destroyed nature so much that, have uprooted nature to such an extent that it is not able to come out. It is dead completely. So how do you kill a tree? First of all, a single jab of knife, it won't do. Now what are you to do? So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. You can of course hack and chop, but that won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, and if unchecked will expand again to the former size. If you just hack and chop, what is going to happen? Of course, it would be painful for the tree, it would be painful for nature, but then the bleeding bark will of course heal after some time. And from close to the ground, again green twigs would come up, tender leaves would come up, tender twigs would come up, miniature boughs would come up. And if you are not gonna check it, it is going to come to the former size again. No. So what are you to do? The roots should be pulled out, right? The roots should be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is staying, or it is standing anchored onto the earth. Now, what happens when it is anchored onto the earth? It consumes everything from earth, right? It is so very anchored onto the earth. Now, what are you to do? It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out. It should be uprooted in every sense, snapped out and pulled out entirely. Out from the earth's cave, it should come out entirely. And the strength of the tree should be exposed to the sunlight. The strength of the tree should be exposed to the outside world. The source of it should be known, the white, the wet, the most sensitive, hidden part of it should be exposed in every way. Because it was there, it was hidden inside the earth's cave, or it was so hidden inside the earth that it again and again, what happens is it consumes the earth and it grows if you do not check it often. Now, once you pull it out, once you expose the roots, what is going to happen? The matter of scorching and choking in sun and air. You can of course expose it in the sun, and the sun's scorching sunlight, and that would choke the roots. That would dry out the roots. That would dry out the tree completely. That would result in browning of the tree, hardening of the tree, twisting of the tree, withering of the tree. And then it's done. Now you have successfully completed the mission of killing a tree. Now this is what human beings are doing every day. They're just uprooting. They're just killing everything that is there in nature. They are doing lots and lots of chemical processes, procedures so as to kill a tree. They expose the tree, they uproot it completely so that nature is not able to come back to its usual position. Nature is not able to come back. A tree is not able to sprout again, rise up again. Now, this particular poem is taken, it could be taken as something, or as a sarcastic take on how human beings are destroying nature. Environment which has come to existence after millions and millions of consumption of different sorts, right? Now, what are we doing? We are destroying nature. This is how we destroy nature. It's not an easy task to destroy nature, but human beings are struggling a lot not to preserve it, but to destroy it. That is one kind of reading that you can give to this particular poem. Another reading that you can, of course, take in a very positive way is that if you have a problem in your life, what are you going to do? It is always said that you listen to music, you just go and go to some places, kinds of things. What are all those things doing? The music, of course, gives you a very temporary relief, right? That is what I feel. Music gives you a very temporary relief. Travel gives you a very temporary relief. The problem is still there inside, right? Because any external factor cannot solve your problems. Nothing external is going to solve your problems. In order to solve a problem, the tree, in order to kill the tree, the problem, the trouble that is bothering you, that is hiding you within you, what are you going to do? It takes time. Mental trauma, mental problems, mental troubles take time. Usually what happens is we do give much more importance to physical problems, right? Your bone is broken, and what happens is you suppose your child's bone is broken. You tell the child that, see, this is your bone is broken. It takes time. But we do not say that for mental problems, right? Mental problems, mental trauma, in order to overcome from it, it takes time. Now, to kill that problem, to kill that tree which is slowly rising up inside you, what are you going to do? Not simple jab of knife would do it. Because the problem is the result of lots and lots of things which was happening within you. The problem has consumed the earth, fed upon your crust, absorbing sunlight. See, lots and lots of things contribute to the increasing of the problem, the growth of the problem. Now, what are you to do? Suppose you just do give some sort of a temporary relief. What happens is it would heal for some time. After some time, that temporary relief would go away. And then the problem is left there, right? The problem remains there, pent up within you, inside your mind, in the very unconscious or subconscious of your mind. It lies there. And what happens? Again, it comes back. If you're not going to check it, it just comes back. I mean, it just comes back with renewed strength, actually. With renewed strength, it just comes back. Now, what are you to do with a problem? You need to find the source of the problem, the root of the problem. Now, find the root of the problem, because the problem is so very anchored in you that you need to rope it, tie it, pull it out, snap it out completely, entirely from the earth's cave. You need to expose it onto the sun. You should understand, or you should see that this is a problem. You should expose it to yourself. See that, and then you work on that problem. Work on it. Try to scotch it, chalk it, brown it, harden it, twist it, wither it. And it's only then that the problem is done. Otherwise, it remains there within you, inside you, growing on and on and on. And you cannot help it afterwards. Now, what happens is, if you're going to uproot it in every sense, uproot it, expose it, let it out, and work on the problem, brown it, harden it, twist it, wither it, the problem is gone. The trouble is gone. Otherwise, it remains there, hidden within you. So these are the kinds of two readings that I would like to give to you, because this comes under sustainable environment portion. Probably you can read it the first way. I just wanted to, I was just giving you another sort of reading, that's all. Now, this could be taken as a very graphic representational poem on killing nature, on killing, a very sarcastic and ironic way of presentation on how human beings destroy nature. And Gift Patel is actually sympathizing very much with nature. Though nature is very resilient in nature, though it has a tendency not to die, we kill it. Though nature has a tendency not to die, not to fall, not to accept failure, what happens is you fail it, right? You fail it. You fail nature. You kill nature. You destroy nature. So Gift Patel's all sympathies are with nature. So that's the reading. Thank you all.